Thank you for returning to my channel, Anthracite Horror Stories. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing this vintage lot of authentic paperwork that has some historical significance to the anthracite coal field in the northern coal field, primarily the Wyoming Valley, that I've accumulated over the last 2 decades of collecting stuff. And I'm just going to give a quick walkthrough these papers because they're pretty cool. So I'm going to start off with this. This is a pay receipt, a pay stub showing his earnings and deductions as miners. And up top you will see Knox Coal Company. And that is from the infamous Knox Coal Mine, where the Susquehanna broke through in 1959. So this is obviously 11 years before the disaster. Polish gentleman here. But this was from the Pennsylvania Coal Company. And they leased it out to the Knox Coal Company that had some shady business practices and some shady ties to organized crime. I haven't seen the Knox Coal Mine Disaster documentary. I highly recommend it when they have public showings. It's a really well done presentation. But we'll just go over this. And these are rare, and it's unfortunate because I gave a few of these away, and I know one of them got thrown away by the one guy I gave one to accidentally. But nonetheless, that broke my heart because, I mean, this is authentic. Very historic to the Knox Coal Company. Anything with Knox Coal Company is hard to come by. I grabbed this on eBay a few years ago. But right here shows that he worked one day, he got $9.20. He has a WLB agreement, 32 cents, government agreement, 38, travel time, $1.34, general income, $3.49. So for one day's work, he made about $15. And he had a 15-cent deduction, so he did well on that one. Now, on this one, he worked trying to read that on my glasses. He made $94.25 over this time period, and he had 7 hours of overtime at $10.82, and his pretty good money for 1948, $175.56. But his deductions started. He had his tax, $29.50. Coal, I guess he bought coal. I don't know what that would be. These are his deductions, $20.60. Cartage, $2.50. That was his union dues, UMWA. And the deductions were for $56.34. So he walked away with $119.22. And again, it's just cool just because this was the infamous coal mine that everybody knows about. And at this 1.5 day at $18.04, made about $30. Then his deductions, only 30 cents. I have another one of them where they really got him on deductions. He made like nothing for the whole week. These are cool. These are accident reports for the Dorrance Colliery, where both of my great-grandfathers and my grandfather worked at. And these were from the early 50s. And these just showcase a miner's accident. For any time there was an accident, they would go over it in pretty good detail. Here you have like date of accident, employer's name, address, and these are all really cool. Some are pretty rough, because I have a whole bunch of them where some of them got banged up pretty good, like eye injuries and stuff like that. Others aren't too bad. But this guy, for instance, his description of the accident was, while in the act of striking a cat piece on a prop, a piece of bark flew and struck his left eye, causing a slight injury till same. That was the foreman. So they would make him go out and get checked out at the hospital, and they would have the surgeon sign off. Shows the attending surgeon, the doctor. There's like a return to work order. But these are pretty cool. This one's from June of '53. Put that one back. Now this guy was kind of a company man, you could see, being a foreman. It was kind of disturbing. I was going through, I don't know if it was this one. While substituting as a motor helper, he was riding front end of a motor when it jumped the road at a curve and knocked out a timber, and he was injured slightly when it struck him on the head. Ooh, that's brutal. What cracks me up about this is not that, but the attending surgeon. I see him in a lot of the Dorrance medical reports. O'Donnell, Dr. O'Donnell, which is my last name. But that's kind of bad, suffering an injury from getting flipped off a multiple 1,000-pound electric mine motor and hitting your head on a timber. And he said slight injury. Yeah, I mean that's pretty rough. Now this one of these really made me mad. Okay, it's not this one. Because you could tell that the foreman did not believe the gentleman who was hurt. Okay, this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. And I make my point here. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely this one. This is horrible. This angers me. This should be noted. This is the kind of thanks you get for working all these decades underground. This is Lehigh Valley Coal Company again, Dorrance Colliery. And it happened on July 25, 1952 at 9 a.m. His name was Teddy Bissaire. So it has him living in 51 Poplar, Plains, PA. He's a miner for his occupation. He's 62 years old. This guy's underground. 62 years old. He was employed for 36 years as an actual coal miner. Not a laborer, not a motorman, not a footman. He is a underground miner for 36 years. He had total experience in coal mines for 42 years. Has his rate of wages. Okay, now he started work at 7, and there's that surgeon O'Donnell. I'll just go into the report because this is just nasty. So again, this is just, they had multiple receipts. While lifting chunk of coal to low coal car, he claims he hurt his back. I mean, the guy's 62 years old, for crying out loud. He's been a miner for 36 years. He's worked in the mines overall for 42 freaking years. And Stanley Evans. Stanley Evans. I've seen that name. There was an Evans in the Hollenbach, which is the adjacent colliery, that got burned in one of the disasters. I wonder, I'll have to check into that. I remember last name being Evans, I believe. I'll look into that. Well, anyway. Stanley Evans thinks that this guy claims to have hurt his back. Well, I mean, the guy's been lifting coal for 36 years. I mean, that's the thanks you get. The mine foreman, your boss, doesn't believe that you were hurt and you're faking it. I'm sure that Teddy was not faking it. I mean, the guy's 62 years old. Can you imagine the wear and tear? Guy definitely had anthracite. I'm gonna say he definitely threw his back out. I mean, that just disgusted me. And that should be noted. Disgusting. Company men, you know? This is really cool. This is the First National Bank out of Plymouth, PA, dated March 7, 1874. Zoom in. And it was paid to Mary. I can't make that out. It's one of the widows of the Avondale Mine Disaster. And the Avondale Mine Disaster happened on September 6th, 1869. I think it killed 110 or 112 people when the only entrance, which was connected to the breaker, which was made out of wood, was built directly over the shaft. So the shaft head frame was an enclosed structure that was connected to the breaker, and it caught fire. And when the shaft building caught fire, burned down the breaker, and it sucked all the air out of the mine. It killed children, killed everyone in the mine, 110 people. And it killed 2 rescuers that bravely went in there. So I've seen several of these. I know there's a twin shaft one too. When they had these big disasters, they had relief funds. And of course the coal companies, they didn't pay any massive compensation whatsoever to the families, so they relied on their churches and charities to help raise all the orphans and widows. It's really sad. So this is a really cool piece of history here. It looks like it was for $26.66. There's the assistant treasurer and dispersing agent. It's really neat. Super authentic. And the endorsements here. Mary Guylon, maybe. And then it has just a bunch of other from the bank. There's stampings. Those stampings are from the 1870s, which is crazy. And I don't know what's going on with that. Looks like it was in, okay, it wasn't part of like a security stamp there. Just a tear. These are really neat. So again, Avondale Mine Disaster out of Plymouth. DL&W Coal Company, I believe. Now this is neat. I had that right. It's in bad condition here. So, this was the book number. So serial number for the books, for the company records. And this was from the Lehigh Valley Coal Company. And it shows that miners had to buy their own dynamite. They would make you pay by the pound, how many sticks. You had a sign there. This is obviously not signed. But this was, in a sense, like a paper scrip. You would fill this out, and they would take this out of your pay. How terrible is that? So you go to work, you gotta pay for your own dynamite. And this is of nearly the identical serial number. This is the next number, 605. The other one was 604. This shows colliery, 19. And this is delivered to the bearer and charged to my account 1 keg powder. And the miner would sign, obviously, you know, colliery. If it was Dorrance or Prospect or Westmoreland, because that was Lehigh Valley Coal Company. Yeah, this is black powder, so it's pretty old. So what they would do is, again, charge your account, because you had to buy your own blasting material. And then this is just a very, these are not rare. You could get these on eBay pretty cheap. This is just a regular pay stub, like the Knox Coal Company one I had here for the Dorrance Colliery, Lehigh Valley Coal Company. And here's a gentleman by the name of Stanley. And this is from July of 1936. He was a motorman, so he literally drove the electric mine motors, hauling coal from the workings and the shaft and getting them put onto the shaft and raised up. It's pretty cool. He worked 42 hours. No, I'm sorry, he worked 4 hours at $7.22 an hour. Wow. That's not bad. So he got $30.32. Is that possible? Yeah. Wow. That's really good pay for the height of the Depression. That's not that bad. I'm kind of shocked by it. So they deducted supplies. I can't really make out what that is. 20 cents? Something like that. 21 cents? And he got $30.07. Tell I'm not good at math. Stick to history. But things like this weren't made to exist, and luckily for myself and other collectors, people held on to this because they figured, maybe they were just hoarders, but maybe they knew that there was a historical significance, and sometimes these miners held on to this stuff, and I'm very grateful for it because it gets saved and the story's told. Like poor Teddy, who worked for 40 plus years underground, and you could tell his foreman didn't like him. And things like this Knox Coal Company. This is just crazy. I saw this on eBay. I think I paid like 20 bucks for it. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't pay fast enough. And I had like double or triple the amount of this, and I unfortunately gave some of it away. But if you like stuff like this, let me know, and I could do more videos on various things in my collection of historical nature with the anthracite. Please feel free to like the video, as the more likes I get, the more YouTube will recommend my videos. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching us. Have a good day.